Hi everyone, it's Susan Knowles from susanknowles.com, and if you've ever gone to my website, you know that my sole premise is stand for truth. Basically, I feel that if you are not speaking the truth, then we have no reason to have a discussion because we need to start from a factual, truthful basis. I wanted to talk to you today about an article that I've written recently called Disarming the PC Police by Refusing to Conform. That article is on my website, again at susanknowles.com, and it's also at theblaze.com under the contributors link, and I'll try to put some links in the comment section here so that you can easily get to the article in both places. But I wanted to talk about how critical it is for us here in the United States to quit worrying about political correctness. You know, most of us came from a place of learning how to, from very early age, being respectful to individuals, you know, to respect our elders, to respect others, to speak in a respectful tone. I know some of that has gone out the window, unfortunately, and maybe we need to return to that, you know, that time when we were very respectful. But there are very few people who go around, you know, speaking politically incorrect. And those that do sometimes are just uneducated, and you will find that anywhere and everywhere. That's not a reason for us to quit talking about the truth. Namely, and recently you may have heard of the beheading that occurred in Oklahoma. Our president came out, our government came out and said that's workplace violence. We know that that was a beheading and it was a terrorist act. How do we know that? We had an employee who had converted to Islam, who was trying to convert other employees to Islam, who came to his place of employment, and when, you know, walked in and basically started killing people. I guess he tried to kill another lady as well, but beheaded this poor woman, Colleen Hufford, right there, you know, at her place of employment. And the beheadings are what we see every single day on TV in ISIS and other terrorists who, you know, this is their way of killing the infidels. Now, you know, if you don't want to have that conversation, then we're just going to continue to see more and more things like this and more people coming to the United States to harm us. So we need to get over being politically correct. We need to refuse to conform, and we need to have those frank and truthful discussions. Now, where did all this PC political correctness come from? Well, it started in the 1970s, and I think it started out with a good premise. It started out with wanting to use language to include people. And what we have today is that we use it to basically exclude people that don't think exactly the way that we do. And it goes from language on to trying to control people's behaviors. And this came from, you know, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. If you have never read that book, you need to get that book. You need to read it cover to cover, and you need to understand what the progressive left is doing and trying to get all of us to conform and sit down and be quiet. Their sole premise is that if you aren't in agreement with us, then we are going to isolate you, we are going to come after you, and we are going to make you conform. We're going to silence you, in other words, to get what we want, to further our agenda. We have people like Al Sharpton who continue to use that type of rhetoric when he goes to a place and starts talking, you know, race this, race that. You know, he's a perfect race baiter. It's something to stir up controversy. It's to isolate people who want to stand up and say, look, I'm not a race baiter. I don't feel the same way that you do. I don't know what you're talking about. But instead of doing that, we just sort of sit back and let people like Al Sharpton do what he does. And Jesse Jackson is another person. It's done to divide us. We use it now to separate us, not to include, but to separate us. And that's not who we are as Americans. We've never been that way. There may be a few people who do that. There are a few people on the other side who do things too. But that is not the majority of the people here in America. That is not who we are. And we can't keep sitting down and being silent and taking it and allowing people to make us conform to their way of thinking. I just encourage you to more and more speak the truth. Are you going to be well received? No, you're not. Let's face it, when you go against what the progressive left is trying to do, you are not going to be well received. But you must stand up. That's the only way for this country to survive. Quit allowing people to, say things and get their way and make you think that you're not thinking correctly because you're not thinking with what the progressive left thinks. Also go to my website. There's a great article there that I wrote about our public schools and how, our schools are being taken over and have been for so long by the progressive left. See if I can find the article really quickly for you. I write so many articles that honestly, sometimes I forget the names of them. But if you go to my website, you'll certainly find it. And we just browsing this website as quickly as I can. It's called Socialism is Alive and Well in Your Child's Public Education System. I encourage you to go there. We've sat by, and in our public education system, we've allowed it now to be overrun with socialism and the progressive left. We need to start going there and attending meetings, and we need to stand up. We need to say enough is enough. And we need to disarm the PC police. And the only way you can do that is by speaking up. Try to find, if you're afraid to go by yourself to things and speak out to people, find like-minded people. There are people out there just like you who have had enough and who will stand together with you and confront these issues. And you need to do that in the school setting, in other settings, government settings. Go out and vote, things of that nature, whatever you need to do. But find some encouragement, if you will. Read my articles, and I think it'll give you some more insight into what you can do. You have what it takes. You have all that you need to go out there and to fight the progressive left. Don't believe the lies of the political correctness anymore. Stand for truth. Take care.